sometimes the worst people about it, yeah. Sometimes the worst people about it are like the kind of super fans for me because they'll try to have an entire back and forth conversation with me
I
on
know, man.
Facebook.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
why I
just like-
don't. There's so many messages I don't answer because of that.
Well,
Because I know as soon as you do, it's like boom, 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 boom. I'm like, oh God.
it's not even messages is my problem. It's like on my wall,
Oh,
and
I
I'm
got
just
you.
like, I answered once. I can't, all day go back and
Yeah, yeah,
forth
yeah.
and like, but then people think you're being snotty or you don't appreciate them, and it's like, no, I appreciate you.
I'm just busy.
Yeah, I just fucking.
I don't just sit here looking at my laptop.
Yeah, and I don't have time for the shit I personally want to do a lot of times. Like, there's
Dude.
movies that I've never seen.
I haven't gone to the gym in the past week and a half just because of running around. And I'm like, that's something I like to do that. And I haven't been able to have time for that.
Yeah, I was only able to squeeze in my cardio, and that was for like
Yeah,
maybe
man.
half the days of last
And
week.
our fans don't understand, like, okay, we get it. You like us because of our looks. Well, the only way to keep it up is by going to the gym. So stop
Yeah.
bothering us.
And a lot of people do. A lot of people do hit me up about that kind of stuff, like, oh, your abs or and it's like, yeah, that's from being in the fucking gym and
Yeah.
not being on fucking Facebook.
yeah, exactly.
And I'm not that asshole at the gym that has my phone on me usually.
Yeah.
Like, I put my phone in the locker, I do my workout, and then I get back to like whatever.
Yeah, then you get back to life. Exactly.
And
I
then-
can't stand the people in the gyms that, they'll be just sitting there just updating things. I'm like, man, you're lowering your heart rate. You're out of your workout zone now. You're not keeping up.
And you're a lot of times on the machine I want to be on.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're just sitting on it,
Yeah.
wasting time. And I'm like,
Yep.
you're wasting my time right now.
Yeah, yeah.
This isn't just about you and because that's the way they would treat it if you were to say anything. They'd act like, oh, so uptight. It's like, no, I got places to
I want
be.
to use. Yeah, exactly. I'm here to work out.
Yeah, I don't want to be waiting for you. I don't bring my phone, but now
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you because you're on your phone.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, everybody.
Welcome to Unbothered.
Yeah, welcome to Unbothered by Thai Rivera. As always, coming to you from high atop Thai Rivera Studios, a.k.a. Casa de Bijou. Bijou and Jerry are once again having Whimsy's alligator treats. One day I'm going to have Whimsy sponsor me.
Oh yeah. Is that what keeps him quiet?
It does.
I can see Jerry's gnawing away like crazy over there.
Yeah, and then once they're done, they're exhausted, so then that's why it'll be quiet for my Unbothered. But you heard what it's like when you first come in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
it's not ever like that when we're just here alone. But as soon as somebody else comes in,
Oh, yeah.
Bijou right away. Jerry's pretty quiet, but Bijou
Yeah,
right away.
Jerry
is
was
like,
very quiet. He was just kind of chill, like, I'm not leaving this bed.
Yeah, Bijou loves to
Dude, I was
fucking
petting Bijou.
and she's still barking when
Just
you're
barking. I'm petting. No bites. Just all over. She likes getting the feel like, okay, good. Yeah, that's what I want. But still, yeah.
Yeah, and that's because she knows you. Like, if she didn't know you, she'd be
Biting?
Like, yeah,
Oh.
trying to bite.
She's a little protester.
Yeah, she is. She's went on the.
She's a women's
march.
right movement.
She went on the women's march.
I mean, touch me, but
Yeah, she doesn't know what she wants.
see,
Bijou.
look at that. Look at that.
Yep, she
touch
got-
me. Come on. That's exactly how women are, man.
She got mad at you because
Yep.
you're talking shit about her. She's
Even
like,
if you touch me, I'm gonna still bark.
why are you talking shit behind my back?
So let me ask you this, Ty, since I'm on Unbothered
Yeah.
officially. So what's the shadiest, like what's the most subtle amount or maybe even most obvious amount of shade somebody has thrown at you when they're bringing you up on stage?
The most. One time, Nick Youssef was mad at me because this is a long time ago,
Yeah.
and he was forced to put me up on the potluck because Dean was the manager at the time. This was back when Dean was the manager.
Yeah.
At the Comedy Store, and Dean had told him that he had to put me up, and I guess Nick had some friends that he wanted to put up. And, I was just like, oh, yeah, Dean said that I was supposed to go up.
Yeah.
And so then he went to talk to Dean about it, and Dean was right in front of me and was like, yeah, I put him up. And so he went on stage and was like, ladies and gentlemen, Thai motherfucking Rivera. And, like, it just made me sound more cool than I am.
Yeah.
It wasn't like an insult. You know, it was like Thai motherfucking Rivera.
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, that's like, okay,
Yeah,
all right,
it's
I'll
like,
take that.
oh yeah, you really got me, you know. But like that was the most like bringing me on stage, I would say.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know, this is the first time we're having Nick Guerra as a solo guest.
Oh man.
Nick Guerra has been here with John Toll. And then there was one time when we did it just me, you, and Zach Elk back when I still had
That's
a sidekick.
right, man. Yeah.
So this is your first time, his first time on Unbothered.
Rest in peace, Zach.
Oh, Zach, yeah, he left me.
Sorry for everything.
That bastard.
Yeah. He's like, I just can't, Ty. I just the company says that we have to be bothered.
Yeah, I should have known that the conservative radio station was only going to have me.
They found out about the after hours. See, that's the thing with conservatives. It's their after hours things that gets them in trouble.
Yeah, it was a mullet situation, business up front, party in the back.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but whatever.
I had I had shade thrown at me just recently. You know, I remember it's so funny because that reminded me of a moment that I did an open mic in Dallas a long time ago. And there was this guy who, you know, every city has their cliques. And it's so funny that all these 2-3 year open micer guys don't understand that there's a group of you everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
You know, in every city, there's you. Mm-hmm. You know, and it all consists of these guys that are all starting the same level. One of you is going to do well, and the rest are just going to be upset that you didn't do as well as that one. Right?
And by do well, it's like regionally well usually.
Yeah.
Like
one of you is going to be fine, and you kind of, and the other four
are going to have kids. Are going to.
Well, that, but also the other four, when one guy kind of does well, the other four considers that their accomplishment too for a bit. You know, like, that's right. So-and-so did this. We cool. It's like, yeah, but you didn't. You still unfunny. Anyway, there's this one comic. I don't know if we shared the same first name or same last name. I forget. But we shared one of the same names. And so I guess he hated because
he
everybody...
was either a Nick or a Guerra.
Yeah. Everybody brought him up as me because they all would forget his name, right? And so he had to finally introduce me at an open mic. And he pulled it out of a bucket. He's like, so your next comic, oh, Nick Guerra. And he walks off. I'm like, okay, 2-year open micer. You need to calm down. You should be happy that somebody is mistaking you for me.
Yeah, but, you know, these people, I've heard people approach people about their last names.
Yeah.
You know, like they owned that name. And it was
really?
Yeah. I heard about it in the Bay Area.
Yeah?
Yeah, there was a comic that approached
Like there was another Storin?
I wish it was.
There was Alex Storin.
Close enough.
And he came up to Chris and he was like, hey, Chris, you know, here's the thing, man. Have you ever thought about just saying Chris Stuffin and not Storin?
What about Chris Storing?
What about Chris putting things away and not Chris storing?
Chris putting away things seasonally.
I unlocked railroad tracks just for you. I need to post it on your wall.
Thank you.
Yeah, I made it public again.
No, so I appreciate that.
Because you want it. So I don't know when this comes out, but the last show that I did, the host, you know, he had a story for every comic that came up. This guy's so funny. Oh, he's just so fucking funny, this guy. And then with me, I was like waiting, you know, I was like, I wonder he never asked me for my intro. And then I went up, or he was like, all right, guys, we're going to keep this train going, Nick Guerra. And I went up, and I did I destroyed, right? It was great. It was fun. And part of me was like, that was weird, but whatever. I don't mind just going up. I'd rather have just going up than you coming up with this guy's fucking funny. He's the best person ever. I hate those intros, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I destroyed. I walked off. And then later on, I was like, I think he kind of like, that was like a little bit of shade, you know, like a little bit. And then I asked the comics that were there with me, and they were like, oh, yeah, dude, while you were on stage, like he was just kind of like glaring at you, like he couldn't believe you were killing so hard, or he would just had this weird jealousy. And the crazy thing is, I've never worked with this dude. I've never hung out with him, nothing like that. He just had a weird jealousy.
Were you in this city?
Yes.
Okay. I'll ask you after.
Ask me after.
I know
'cause
you can't.
Yeah. I don't want to say the name.
Yeah.
'Cause with somebody that fragile, somebody that I don't even really hang out with, if it was somebody that I knew, I'd say their name.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if it was Todd Larson, I'd be like, Todd Larson gave me fucking
Todd Larson
beef.
and me got into it on Facebook.
What? Yeah?
Yeah, it was about something to do with Trump. I don't remember what it was.
Oh,
but he got
man.
real shitty with me. And my thing with Todd Larson was I don't even know you that well, one thing. So it's like, I don't even know you like that. And the second thing is, like...
And you guys should have, you know what's so funny? It's like a Freaky Friday. Like, Todd should have your point of views, and you should have his.
Well, you would think. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, he's a white guy.
If they put you on the CNN panel, they'd be like, so Trump supporter, and they'd accidentally put it under Todd. You're like, no, I'm not a Trump supporter. It's that guy up in the left right.
You're like, oh, what? Okay.
All right, man. Well, we got these cards wrong here.
Look like a Thai Rivera, but
Yeah.
we just assumed that. and like the other thing is, we've always been pleasant in real life.
Yeah.
So I hate when people get shitty with me online, and then like what happened was, I don't remember the exact conversation or whatever that happened on Facebook, but it was one of those situations where, and I have people do this with me a lot. They'll get shitty with me first. And then when I do it back because I get shittier on a different level,
Yeah.
then all of a sudden they're hurt. And
Yeah.
it's like, no, you don't get to play that card.
You get
now.
the message of like, look, man, I get it, all right? I get this message sometimes because that happens to me. Look, man, okay, so you're funnier than me, okay? You're more, that's fine. You got credits, okay. And it's like, all right, so now you're holding that against me that I'm funnier and I got credits?
Yeah.
So maybe you shouldn't comment on myself. Maybe you should never give me criticism.
Well, yeah, and
And so I just block them.
I do remember that it was also on a sub-thread, which really bothers me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, but it's still called Unbothered. But it's...
Oh, no, Ty has officially been bothered.
My best friend in New Jersey, her mom is the best about that because they listen to it in the car
Yeah.
when she's driving her mom to work, and her mom is always like, look he's bothered. He's letting people bother him. Why does he let people bother him?
People look for the Easter egg of you being bothered in your own podcast. I think that sounds bothered. That sounds pretty bothered.
Yeah, it's the best, and it makes me laugh that people point it out or whatever.
That's
But that
hilarious.
is the point of the podcast. Is like you talk about what bothers you, and then at the end you're unbothered.
I get it. It's out. It's out. It's done.
Yeah, I don't care about
Anybody
it.
that else hangs on to it. That's how I feel about podcasts sometimes. Like I record them, and then I just never think about the thoughts again.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I don't care if you replay it and it affects you and you replay it 3 times, you keep hearing it. I'm done. That emotion's gone.
Well, that's the way I feel, and same with like this situation I'm talking about with Todd Larson. Technically, I was done with the emotion of that.
Yeah.
Back when it happened, because it was like 4 or 5 months ago, and we don't see each other ever anyway.
Yeah,
you know. So it's not like I'm even mad at him, but just it was like when I'm on a sub-thread, it gets on my nerves because it's like I purposely chose not to respond to what you said or anything to do with you, and then you jumped on what I started to say, and then you acted like I had called your attention, and it was like I wasn't even talking to you. I'm talking to the person that posted the thread or posted the original post. You know, that's the way I always feel when I'm on Facebook. Like, yeah if I jump on your sub thread, that's me starting shit with you.
Yeah, exactly.
But like for the most part, I don't do that because I'm only friends in a lot of cases with the person that posted the status.
Yeah.
Or I only feel that relationship. And I know that the person that posted the status will usually get me as far as like, oh, he's just being silly or, you know.
It's just Ty.
Yeah. But then other people will jump in
People
and
don't
say,
get that about you, man. It's just Ty, guys. All right?
I know. And there's a lot of people that listen to the podcast.
That's going to be your sitcom. It's just Ty. And it's going to be half an hour of the most offensive shit. And then the last thing everyone says, it's just Ty, guys.
It's just Ty.
It's just Ty.
Let him do what he does.
Well, Ty, somehow we got out of the situation again. Yeah, without any help from you guys. Oh, Ty.
It's just Ty.
Ty.
And I give the wah, shoulder
wah.
shrug.
So I did great at the show.
Uh-huh.
And, you get text messages or messages from comics that are like, dude, great set, man. One of the weirdest compliments, and it happens a lot out here. It happens a lot everywhere, to be honest. And tell me if you get this, is, dude, great. You did great, man. And it was like new material. And have you ever been like, yeah, that's the point. We're supposed to be writing new material.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of comics really get that.
Yeah.
I think, like, you know, because we all have jokes that we'll throw in from whatever, especially if you do 1,000,000 sets in a week and you're like, okay, I'm tired of that stuff, so let me throw some of this in. So we all have stuff where we will throw stuff in that's older.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
to
You do a few initial.
Yeah, but like always having new stuff is so fucking important. I had somebody, a club manager, tell me not too long ago, and I was like, "You're not paying attention," because he was like, "Yeah, Ty, I noticed that when you come here, you kind of do the same stuff all the time," and I was like, "I never do the same stuff."
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Well, actually, you kind of do," and I was like, "Actually, I have all of them on my phone. If you want, we can sit and listen to them right now."
Yeah.
Because it's just not what I do. I'm like, especially that club.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you do short sets, and you know when I'm doing short sets, I'm gonna do a lot of new stuff because it's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a
If I'm
short
doing a quick set, it doesn't matter. And if it's not really my show, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna play around as
Yeah,
much
and
as I
I'm
can.
confident, and I don't care. Like
Yeah.
you know, it's like I'm confident that if I'm not doing well with new stuff, then I can just go into older shit and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But that's not gonna happen in a short set because a short set is mostly personality.
Yeah,
Not
and also
really.
the short set, like the way I feel is, if it's a short set, it's not my show. I'm not really getting paid. You didn't pay me for the hits.
That's another thing
You know?
people don't get. Like
I maybe you'll get lucky and get a hit, but if on those shows, it's like, nah, man. Especially if I'm in regular clothes, you're not getting Nick Guerra. That he's in a suit and headlines with. You're getting, no, it's a Tuesday. I'm gonna play around.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
practically in sweats.
Yeah, like what do you,
Yeah, this is the comedy version of sweats right
yeah,
now. I'm
yeah,
just fucking
That's all you're gonna get.
chilling,
You
not
know?
fucking. You know what else?
But it's a
gets
weird
me?
compliment, right? When it's like, hey, man, these are the two weirdest compliments. Dude, it was all new stuff, and also you just keep getting funnier.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that I didn't think you were gonna be funny.
I've had that one
I
before.
get that a lot from
I've
people.
had.
like, I didn't think you were gonna.
I
be
didn't know
funny.
why they. At first, when I saw you were closing, I was like, really? I've had that.
Yeah, and it's always like, look, I'm not gonna.
It's always
be
somebody you see
on.
bomb immediately.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna be on as soon as I hit the fucking door. That not all of us
Yeah.
are like that. Not
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of us have this like. I just want to fucking impress you as soon as I walk in the door. Why am I trying to impress you? You're another comic.
Oh yeah,
It
exactly.
doesn't matter, you know. And you probably, like you said, they usually eat shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm trying to impress somebody that's gonna eat shit anyway. Why do I care?
Yeah. Who's never gonna pay for a comedy ticket for anybody?
And they're not, and none of us do. I mean, like
No.
you know. So it's,
No comedian has ever sold out a show to comedians.
yeah, when it's comics, nobody would even sell us a ticket.
Yeah.
You know, like the club, as soon as you walk up, you just walk in. You know,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
like
exactly.
So it makes no sense to me. The other thing I hate is I did a YouTube thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I was asked to perform on this show that they were going to broadcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
So they asked me to sign a release, which nobody should ever really make you do if you're not paying or ask you to do.
Yeah.
And it was only because it was my friend's show that I was like, all right, I'm going to play along and sign this release. But here's the deal. If I'm going to sign a release and I'm not being paid, I'm just going to do a bunch of shit that other people have already paid me for.
Yeah.
Because I can't do that material when I'm being paid again anyway. So, you know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just like, I don't care about this material. And then somebody in the comments was like, you know, yeah, he repeated a lot of material. It's like, I repeated all of that material. All of that has been bought
Yeah.
by somebody else, you know? I mean, like, I'm not giving new shit
Yeah.
on a fucking
Yeah.
YouTube
yeah,
that I'm not being paid for.
person watching on your computer for free.
Exactly.
Oh, thank you for expecting new material each time you see. Go to a real club. Go to
Yeah.
a real show. That's the thing that bothers me, man, is that I'll see comments and stuff like that. It's so funny because I actually flipped somebody who was going to be a troll on me because people think my laugh is fake.
Mm-hmm.
They think I fake it up there to make the audience laugh. I don't. I don't try to egg the. If I know the punchline's coming and I've already said it, I'm not gonna laugh at it.
Yeah.
But if it's something that's ad-libbed, I might laugh at it. So I remember getting a troll, and I even screenshot it. He's like, "This guy laughs too much at his stuff. It's so fake and annoying." Right? And I was like, "Well, it's actually my real laugh. I'm sorry at that." And then he came to the show, and he's like, "Dude, you're hilarious." You know, and the laugh grew on me. Like I didn't realize. It's like, yeah, man, go to a real show.
Yeah, and the other thing people don't get about the laugh is because I laugh sometimes during my material, and it's not, a lot of times I'm not laughing at my own joke.
No.
I'm laughing at their reaction
That's
to my
what
joke.
it is.
Yeah,
I'm
so it
laughing
is
at the
like,
reaction, or I'm laughing at the immediate moment of like, what the fuck am I doing? Like that goes through my head. Like that was the silliest shit ever. Like why? And thank God they let me get away with it. Like it happens like that. It's mostly thank you for laughing at that.
Yeah, that's when I really laugh at my own stuff too. Is when it's in the moment, spontaneous, and I'm like, why the fuck would you say that? Or
Yeah.
you know, like
they catch it and you're like, oh man, thank you. That was ridiculous. Like that's my laugh.
yeah, I
You
have
know.
a lot of genuine laughs on stage too. But really, to me,
All of
that-
my laughs are genuine on stage.
yeah, you see a lot of fake ones.
Oh,
though.
I see it. You can tell.
Yeah, you know, where they're like, I won't name names on this.
You don't
I
have
thought
to.
about like naming a few, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like, why do you do that night after night? When
Yeah.
you do that joke the same way, it gets the same shitty reaction, or
Or
just
it's
okay.
the fake accidental mess up on a joke
Oh yeah, I worked with a comic
where
that,
it's like, so I put a pencil in my penis. Why would I put a pencil in my penis? Who would put a pencil in their penis? I mean, could you imagine a product where you put your pencil in your penis? Yeah, and just like they come up with a whole 10-minute bit on their supposed fake accident.
oh, and it's in the moment.
Yeah.
the whole bit is in the moment. But
Yep.
then you see them the next night.
That's like, so I put a pencil in my penis. Oh my God, why would I
Wait
put
a second. Why would I?
Why would I? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I worked with a guy a couple years ago and I was featuring that hit his head with the mic on every show, but each time he would be like, "Oh, there's no cover on that mic," or "There's no," and it's just like, and each time it was so fake and so
Yeah.
like such an act out, and it was
It's like, dude, just start, man.
yeah, just admit it was an act out, and
You know?
don't fucking act like you just hit yourself with
Yeah.
the fucking mic for the.
I do my best not to get hurt on stage. I have almost fallen off at least. Dude, I've almost fallen off so many times. I almost fell at the last show because I was fucking exhausted, right? And that's also kind of like what dictates my material. If I'm exhausted, you're getting Jazzy Nick, who's going to be very ridiculous. It's going to be a fun, but that's where I just say ridiculous. When I'm exhausted, it's like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to put a pencil in my penis. That's when you'll get that Nick, right? And I almost fell into the audience, and I'm like, who would fake this? Like, I would never fake falling into an audience
yeah,
or
you're
hurting myself.
way more animated than I am.
Yeah.
I stand in one spot. If I fall off a stage, it's because somebody shot me.
That would be the worst. Oh.
Come to think about it, I need to move around more. so I don't
Unbothered
get
this. That doesn't even. Oh. That doesn't make sense. Unbothered this. Oh,
Oh my
man.
God! But that's the only way. I need to move around. more.
Yeah.
That way I won't get shot.
Yeah, people are interesting with their comments, man. Every now and then when I want to knock myself down a notch, I'll go read a YouTube comment, and then I'll laugh at the comedy experts that have never done comedy. They're like, you're not, rule number one in comedy, don't laugh at your own jokes. I'm like, okay, I could send you fucking thousands of clips of professional comedians that you love laughing at their own jokes.
Chappelle was laughing at his own shit.
Chappelle was laughing, man. Eddie was known for that. That's why he stopped laughing, because everyone would make He
Yeah.
was known for laughing at. It's just like, okay, all right, we can't enjoy ourselves.
Everybody's
I get it.
sitting at home. That's what I was just gonna say. It makes perfect sense that we would laugh though, because we do have a fun job.
Yeah.
Our job is to make people
And
laugh.
we're jackasses, man. It's hilarious.
It is
it's
just plain
just
stupidity
silly.
sometimes. Yeah, it is a
man.
lot of just-
Sometimes it's just like, yo, I can't, I don't know how I got in this hole, but this is a fun place to be, And it's like, fuck it.
Yeah, and I do a lot of like talking shit, like outright talking shit. I noticed you do a lot too. I saw a few of your clips that you posted with where you're doing crowd work.
Oh, dude,
and there's a lot of calling people assholes and like, and
Yep.
sometimes I laugh about that. I'm just like, if I weren't joking, this would be so disrespectful.
Yeah.
But the fact that I really am from the core of me just joking and having fun right now
They get
makes
it.
it really fun and silly. And at the same time in your head, you are like, why are they letting me say this right now?
Yeah, man.
Because I like with the women, especially just being a gay man, I'll just be like this bitch, or
Yeah.
and everybody just goes with it. And there, at the same time, there's a part of me that's like, why do people just let me do
Yeah.
this? But it's because it's
It,
fun.
it's crazy, isn't it? Sometimes you could say some shit. Dude, I've gotten into the audience where, like, if they lie to me, like, I'm like, like, if I have to do some quick little crowd work. Oh, so you guys dating? How long you been dating? Whatever. And they're like, since they come up with something dumb. Or how'd you guys meet? Off of Craigslist. I'll be like, Craigslist, really? I'm up here burying my fucking soul, and you're gonna pull some bullshit on me like that? And I'll fucking rip it. Don't you fucking lie to me at my own show! And then they get like, oh, it's a joke. But then I'm like, now tell me for real, where'd you meet?
Yeah, the breakdown is the best. I love the breakdown when I'll start slamming the stool sometimes. Like, don't fucking lie, you know? And they fucking love it, but it's great.
Yeah. I think when you establish, first off, comedians, if you're listening, first establish that you're funny. And if you establish enough of you being funny, then all of a sudden you're allowed to just take the reins off.
Yeah, well, that's what a lot of comics don't do. Like, they come out and they act like they're these superstars right out of the gate. And the audience is just looking at them like, one, I don't know who the fuck you are.
I don't know who you are.
You haven't said anything funny yet. You're already insulting me.
Yeah.
Or, you know, because
they said we saw you on Conan, and you're not Conan, so who the fuck are you?
Yeah, and there have been so many comics now that have those credits, and I talked about that on one episode, so I won't go into that part of it. But just like, there's so many comics that have credits that it's like, you know, that people mention I've been on Comedy Central. I mean, like, I've been on Comedy Central, so I have a million other comics. So really, that means nothing. You got to be funny first and establish that. And especially the places, a lot of the places I perform and you perform. Yeah. It's like these people don't care.
Yeah, it's like, and another guy from Comedy Central, and another guy from Last Comic Standing, and another,
So it's like you got to establish you're funny. Plus, any real...
Dude, even at our own shows, there's crowds that have no fucking clue who we are.
All the time.
And they paid for a ticket that says your name on it.
Yeah, and they still
don't know.
Well, I think I've seen him before. He looked familiar, but I'm not really sure. And
it's sometimes it's not even that. It's just we got free tickets.
It's my birthday.
It's my birthday. We got free tickets.
They called me and said that it's because it's my birthday week, and it's like, all right.
I have it's so funny, man. When I do my sets out of town, I have ways to acknowledge how unfamous I am. I'm actually going to release some clips where I was like, I'm surprised you guys showed up. And you'll hear people like, oh, I'm like, I know how fucking unfamous I am. Don't awe me. You know, like, and I've started to do this thing where I'm like, we're going to have a good time. That's all I can promise. A good time. A great time is expensive. Most of you got free tickets. It's going to be a good time.
Oh, I was at Hooters last week performing on their show at Hooters, which is a great show, a fun show. Yeah. But at the same time, it's Hooters. So there was a point where I got annoyed with a particular segment of the audience. And, like, it was still fun, but I just started, like, really kind of lighting them up, you know? I was just going into it. And then I was like, I'm being paid in fucking wings tonight. And everybody fucking lost it at that point, you know? Yeah. It was just like, you're not going to get me to be nice when I'm being paid in wings. Yeah. Like, I'll be cool, but as soon as you turn on me, I'm turning right back on you.
Man, I love turning on the
What are you going to do? Tell me I'm not getting my wings after all?
Yeah.
You're not going to pay me my fries?
If the crowd has any little hesitation to laughing at jokes or any kind of awkwardness or whatever, the minute that they show me that they weren't prepared to be at a comedy show, it's like gloves are off, man.
Yeah, it's
gloves are off. I'm not going to try to win you over anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to go so ridiculous that you're going to have to jump on this train.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I just go deeper.
I'm like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, I'm not.
And I let them know too, and I'm like, the reason you're getting these jokes is because you guys aren't responding to any of the nicer shit.
Mm-hmm. That's what they deserve.
Yep.
It's the worst thing you can do is come to a comedy show with an opinion.
Yeah.
You know, like, just be chill and laugh because these are jokes.
It's jokes. It's words. It's silly.
And thoughts we had, sometimes just momentary thoughts. It was funny for a second, and it was like, oh, let me say this 1,000,000 times and see if other people find it funny.
Yeah.
The first time you said it, people found it funny, and you were like, oh, okay, so then I'll just keep saying this.
Yeah.
And so it's, you know, it's not as personal as some people think. Like, even if it's about current events, a lot of times it's just like, yeah, that was a quick thought I had when I was watching CNN at the gym.
It's unbothered thoughts.
It really is.
The minute you say it, it's done.
Yeah, it really is. And there's none of,
like, it's funny. There if a comic has been doing an act for a while or doing jokes for a while, that passion that you kind of see them pulling off, it's not really there.
Yeah, it's manufactured. It really is.
Yeah, we were unbothered the first time we were bothered the first time we said it, and then after that, now we know how to just get you to.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore.
Mm-mm.
Have you had, because this is something that just recently happened to me, have you had any, like a comedy fan hit you up for money yet?
Yeah, man. I post it all the time.
Oh, I haven't.
I'll block them and then I post screenshots. I'm like, this person's asking me. One person flat out asked me for $1,000. One person asked me to buy them bus tickets so that they can go visit their husband because he lives so far away. And I was like, why isn't your husband buying you a bus ticket? I've had people send me GoFundMes because they just had a baby and they want money to help raise the kid, you know, and they'll tag me and Gabriel. Yeah, dude, I get it all the time.
Yeah.
The weirdest one was, I mean, I guess you know, the one about buying bus tickets was, it was just annoying. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I had somebody hit me up for a small loan of $300.
Yeah.
And to me, I don't know where anybody else is at, but $300 isn't a small loan. And I can't imagine me ever making enough money that I feel like $300 to a stranger is a small loan.
Yeah.
You know, I could see, like, you know, giving a family member $300 if they really were in a bad spot. Like, if that's my sister, that's my actual family.
Yeah.
But like, just some person online.
Yeah.
That,
You either have to be immediate family or a girl that has put up with me for years. And there's only two that can claim that.
Yeah, I've never allowed a guy the opportunity to put up with me for several years. There's nobody I feel in debt to like that.
There's
me,
only
it's family only, and there's a few. I can say there are less than 3 really good friends that could hit me up for that, and it at least wouldn't be inappropriate. Just be like, yeah, I can either help you or I can't.
Or it has to be somebody that I know is like immediately going to pay me back.
Yeah, and I'm big on telling people how close I can get them to where they need to be.
Yeah.
Like, you can hit me up for 300 and I'll be like, I could get you for 50.
Yeah.
But, you know, but like 50, if you're a good friend or a family member, I'm not going to expect that back.
No.
You know, so I don't think of it as like friendship ruining. If you decide that you just want to be that type of person and pay me back, that's fine. But you know, it's not like we're gonna lose a friendship over $50. You can have this if you need to, but that's as close as I can get you.
Yeah.
The other
Yeah.
250,
I mean,
scrounge it up.
most people have learned not to ask me for money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, strangers and fans, I guess they assume that we're richer than we actually are. I'm like, yo, we're not Pitbull, guys.
Yeah, they see you on TV
You know?
or they see you on a stage, and right away people assume that
Wealth.
we just have so much money that we need places to put it.
He's like, yeah, that's why I'm performing at this quinceañera hall in Whittier.
Yeah.
Because I'm so rich that, you know, I come and perform here.
Look, I know the spotlight in that backyard made me look a certain way.
It made me look glamorous. You know, and
the fact that the DJ stopped playing so that I could talk made you
I know
think.
you think that I'm giving away free tickets because I have so much money that I don't need your money.
These aren't free tickets. This is fan appreciation.
Yeah, so it's okay, man.
You know, Gabriel Iglesias is one of the few people I know
I think that's
that
it, man.
legit does a fan appreciation and gives tickets away, and
like,
it's
go ahead,
not
just
at
show up.
all. Yeah, it's like
Show up.
because he just sold out the Honda Theater the night before, and is like, yeah, this is just say thank you.
I think that's why people think we're rich, because we have the Gabriel attachment.
Yeah,
That's where it comes from.
There's a lot of people that think I'm closer with him than I am.
Dude, people think I've been on the road with him for years.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I
Even
mean,
like club owners, I'm like, when have you ever seen me on his lineup when we come through, you know?
Yeah.
Or when he goes through. Yeah, and Gabriel's great, but it's like, no, man, I don't travel with him.
Yeah. Do I consider him
You know?
a friend? Yes. Is he like one of my besties? No. You know, so when people act like that, it's like,
Yeah.
And then some
He's a
people
good dude.
will try to get you to talk shit about like more successful friends, and that's always weird to me.
Yeah.
It's always like, why do you want that anyway?
Yeah, yeah.
Like you don't know him, and you really don't know me.
Yeah.
Or, hey, he's really an asshole in real life.
But
And
all
it's
you
like,
want me to do is say something so you can shot it or fucking clip it out, or it's just gonna get
post it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like, no.
like now you feel like
I actually don't answer any more questions about Gabriel on my live streams.
yeah.
I've told my fans, I'm like, look, here's the thing. If I'm live streaming, don't continue to ask me when I'm going to be in your town, because when I'm in your town, there will be a notice that I'm in your town. And if you fucking miss it, you miss it. And stop asking me about Gabriel, all right? So those are the two things,
those are annoying people too.
you know?
Because the people that ask you the most when you're going to be in their
They
town,
always miss you.
They're never. Yeah, it's like, oh, it's my cousin's wedding this week.
It's like,
Or
oh, shit, I wish I would have known. Oh, well, I guess I can't do it. I don't have any money. It's a free ticket. Oh, well, I just can't, man. Like,
yeah, that's why I don't fucking deal with that either. It's like, if
Yeah.
you really want to know, you'll pay attention.
Yeah.
I do always post where I'm going to be. It doesn't always make it to my website because I'm not as diligent as Nick. I notice you update your website all the time.
I do a lot.
Yeah.
I'll sit down at least, I haven't in a bit, but there will be times where I'm like, because I haven't had to, there'll be times like, all right, it's been 2 weeks. Let me go look through everything I need to delete and everything I need to update.
I need to be more like you in that way.
And I'll choose a Monday or a Tuesday to just knock it out. Now I'm trying to schedule tons of little clips for Instagram. Because, dude, I have videos since 2012.
Me too. I'm shitload. I have video from 2003 that I want to do like old school.
You know what I'm doing? Do it like Throwback Thursday.
Yeah.
Right? So you know what I'm doing is like, because the hindrance in us choosing what to post is that you kind of like, so where do I start? So what I'm doing is I'm cutting out all the real material from my videos. Right? Anything that I've like, oh, this is a real chunk. I'm just not gonna post it. And then I'm getting all the little snippets of stuff that accidentally happened, hecklers, moment that I never said before, an accidental joke or a joke that I'm done with completely, or an idea that I'm done with, and I'm getting all those ready, scheduling them, and then I'm gonna go back and go through the bigger chunks.
And that's going to be on your Instagram that you're going to start
It's
doing
mostly
that.
on my Instagram.
What is your Instagram?
Nick Comic.
Okay. I
Like
know we're friends on Instagram, but I've never
got
looked
one
at that.
scheduled every day for the next 2 weeks, and I have like maybe 10 more that I need to schedule.
And are you mainly concentrating on Instagram, or do you still do YouTube as well?
Oh, well, I'm scheduling them. It's funny because I'm scheduling them on all three things.
Okay.
So YouTube gets the longer clips.
Uh-huh.
YouTube will get the 5-minute bits, right? Instagram gets the 1-minute bits, obviously. YouTube's going to get both the 5-minute bits and the 1-minute bits.
Mm-hmm.
Fan page gets the 1-minute bits, but they also get the snippet of the 5-minute bit to go to my YouTube page.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I'm cutting out little chunks of my the podcast with Johnny and making video for that, and the live camera. I'm gonna cut out us and put that out there. And so I'm just trying to schedule. I'm gonna hope to get to the place where at least 2-minute clips a day, whether it's stand up or podcast or old clip or interview. And then, schedule at least 3 videos a week.
Yeah, and you have a podcast. What is it called?
The Time with with Nick and Johnny.
Oh, that's why the time in London is.
Time with Nick and Johnny. Yeah, man. People are it's so funny. Like every time we do it, people are like, "What is this?" Somebody we did one last night, and our guest was like, "Is this like air in London?" I'm like, "Well, it's the internet. It airs everywhere." And it was just a complete accident because the whole thing is we didn't know what to call it, right? Uh-huh. So I just like, I don't know, man. How do we introduce this? I was like, The Time in London, and I just said it.
Yeah.
And I actually figured out what The Time in London was. And then we were like, that's it. We'll just keep doing that. And it was an accident, but it also to me signals to whoever's going to be our guest, like as ridiculous as my intro sounds, that means that this is going to be a podcast of just... There's no seriousness. We're not going to go through the typical, how do we meet? The time in London is 8:09 a.m. And that just lets you know, like, we're off course here.
Yeah, for anybody that didn't know, last week I was on Nick and Johnny's podcast, The Time.
Yeah. And it'll come out this week, I believe.
This week is when it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was going to alert people to. I'm starting to do more with my YouTube. YouTube is what, and I plan to do more with my Instagram, but just right now, everything I've been having to do with my YouTube, I uploaded all of my Unbothereds onto YouTube.
I need to do that. Yeah.
So do that now while you're podcast, because you're like a couple weeks in, right?
Yeah. I'm going to start so that and that's the thing. The great thing is you could schedule it and like, all right, it's done.
Yeah.
It'll come out when it comes out.
Do it now as far as your YouTube goes with uploading your stuff.
Yeah.
Because I waited till I had 36 of them, and I didn't do that on purpose. It was just like somebody was like, you really have to have all of these on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. And so I had to upload all 36 of them basically over 2 days is the way I did it.
That takes a
just
long time.
Just because I didn't, and it really was like putting the clip together because.
Dude, it takes a long time to do a minute fucking clip.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Like people are like, when you go put out more stuff, you realize if I want to edit something properly, 1 minute takes 4 hours.
Yeah, and that's us doing it. A lot of people don't
doing it
realize
ourselves.
that too. We don't have editors. It's not like a million
And that's editing
people.
for 4 hours and then waiting for it to load up and then whatever mishap decides to happen on the internet, that's either another 2 hours or it'll immediately load.
Literally, my internet is out right now.
Yeah.
Like, I called Spectrum to see what was going on, and I got, of course, just the automated that said my service is out right now.
Yeah.
The service in my area is out right now.
Oh,
there's no reason for like it basically tells you there's no reason for you to talk to a customer service agent.
Because there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, they can't give you any other information. So
Yeah.
I have my phone set to like they're going to call me, their automated system is going to call me once it's back up. But it's been like 4 hours. So luckily today I didn't have anything I was really going to upload anyway. But at the same time, it's like, I want my fucking internet.
Yeah, man.
I want to work on
it's
shit
my
even
job,
if I can't.
yeah.
Even if I can, I should be able to.
Exactly, man. And that's the thing is that, it really does take that weird sitting down and be like, okay, and you'll lose hours doing this.
Yeah.
And hey, fans, thank you so much for listening to us. But, realize that a little nice 5-star review helps us get the confidence to keep this going. A share.
A review, a share, a like on YouTube.
It takes time,
a
man.
subscribe.
Yeah.
And it takes nothing for them to do it. It's such a quick, just like
share
click the
it,
button.
something.
Yeah.
Put it out there for us, just so that it can finally generate what we need to generate. Because whatever you're seeing online took time.
More people need to know about you. Good, then tell them.
Yeah.
You can be part of
there's
this.
tons of videos. Go share them.
You can be part of this. You don't have to just wish me well.
Yeah.
Like, wishing me well is great. I appreciate it. But at the same time, if you just quit. And
You know what I hate? When I'm like, hey, I'm going to be performing in San Antonio. And then a fan will be like, that's so far, man. And then they kind of like categorize your, like, they stop your fucking comments.
Oh, yeah.
Like, people don't realize that one little comment of it not matter, like that it doesn't matter comment stops people from commenting positive.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're like, oh, yeah, that's right. It's kind of too far. And they don't even think, even if they're like, it's just all those little things, don't post them. Just don't post them. Just post either you're going to be there or I love this.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing that happens when you're on stage is that people start to think that you're not human or you don't have feelings. We're almost machines to a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't get, like, that is one of the things that they do is they'll do things to kind of shit on what is you're doing or stop your momentum and not realizing, oh, I'm a real person on the other end.
Yeah.
I'm working hard every day
Trying this.
to do every fucking thing that you see me doing. Everything you see me do.
And there's no guidebook.
Yeah.
There's
and
no
it comes
handbook. Like,
from
literally,
badgering people.
you wake up and you're like, what is it that I need to do? And you have to figure out your whole plan and then enact it. Whereas when people go to work, there is a checklist. Do this, do that, do that. There's no checklist. There's no guidebook.
Nobody tells us what to do, and there's nothing letting us know we're doing it right, but appreciation and people sharing.
So appreciate it, man.
Yeah, speaking
so funny
of
you
that,
said
go to Thai Rivera on YouTube, everybody. I have been posting a lot of shit, so.
Yeah, like Thai stuff, man.
You know what's another thing you guys can do while we're on the subject? When it comes to YouTube, just play a video and let it play all the way through.
And just walk away.
Whether it's 10 minutes or an hour, just let it play.
Walk away.
Clean your house. Have us in the background.
Chime in every now and then. Oh, there's video still going, huh? Yeah, man, there's a lot of things that I want to do Like, it's funny because, like, I've kind of got my vitamin uptake back together. I got my energy back. Remember, I was dealing with the exhaustion and the Hashimoto's disease, and I sat Johnny and Rizzo down. I'm aligning myself with Johnny and Rizzo, so you can see how desperate I am.
I was gonna,
you know, and
I was wondering what's been going on with that.
well, you know, Johnny's willing to come by and set up the podcast and do it, so that was my rule.
At least he does shit.
Yeah.
I hang out with Kenny Lyon, who lately has been doing nothing.
So it's like,
for me.
if you
Sorry,
do it,
Kenny,
man, that's
just
good.
is what
But
it
I
is.
told him, like, you know, especially in this industry, especially with any ethnicity, but, you know, and here's the thing. It's funny because I've talked to other ethnicities.
You're going to say something about beaners? Because this is Cinco de Mayo week, so you
okay,
watch
so
it.
let me talk about Mexican pride then. Okay, because here's the thing. This next following discussion, if you're another ethnicity than Latino, if you're another gender than male, I don't need to know how your struggle is exactly like mine. I get it. It is. But this is all about being Latino right now, okay? Because that's what happens. You're like, it's tough being Latino. Well, I get it, man. I feel the same way. That happens with black. I don't need to know. I don't need to know that you relate to my experience.
Can I have this? Can I just have this?
I just need you to know that the industry is so fucking hard-headed, and the minute you say you're Latino, it's like they dock you IQ points. They don't believe you can do what you do. And I've gotten so frustrated with it that's why I sat Johnny and Rizzo down. I'm like, look, man, nobody's going to represent. You know, nobody's going to try to help you guys out. Nobody's going to try to help us out. All right? So let's make this legit. Let's reach out to the other dudes, and let's just make this legit. Let's work with the other Latino talent, but not like make it stereotypical. Let's help each other out, but not, you know. And it's like, because my whole thing is, the minute that you say you're Latino, the minute you say you're gay, the minute you say the industry almost only gives you that. You are no longer comedian Thai Rivera. You're gay comedian Thai Rivera. And even worse, you're gay Latino comedian Thai Rivera. Right? And with me, it's like, I'm no longer, you know, comedian Nick Guerra. It's Latino comic Nick Guerra. And it sucks because now it's like a handicap they throw at you. And you're like, dude, I didn't like...
And I don't want to have to play that role either, especially when what you're asking me to do is not genuine to me.
Yeah.
Like, we're not all the same.
Exactly.
And so, but now you want me to act like, what's up, Esse? Or
yeah,
like,
and they all think we're still talking like Latinos back in the 70s or 80s. Yo, what's up, fuckers? How you doing? And I get it. You can play that card. Right? And I'm not knocking anyone that plays that card, but that's not my card. And
really, as far as the general public goes, when it comes to being Latino, a lot of us have moved past that.
Yeah,
like,
man.
You don't even see that a lot. And like, we all have those uncles that still are stuck into that kind of time warp or whatever. But it's like, really, when you look at what being Latino is now, it's not really that anymore.
No.
So you're really asking me to play something that's not even current.
It's that in a weird, ironic way. Like, we do it amongst each others as a joke.
Oh, yeah, to be stupid.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when you know it's like, oh, you guys don't even know. We joke about this.
Yeah.
Like, this is us doing dumb accents.
Yeah,
you know, like,
I
that's
throw
all
out
it
a
is.
where you going, gay? Every once in a while. Or, just being stupid, like, where you going, gay?
Like, you know what? Okay, so I bring this up because just recently at another show, there's a comic before me, and he's a good guy, right? He was doing, like, Latino jokes. He's not Latino, you know what I'm saying? But he was talking. It's so funny. White comics are, when they figure out, like, another culture, they're always, like, baffled by it on stage all the time. Like, did you guys know that Latinos just whatever, you know what I'm saying? And they do that, and they try to explain it, and they do it to a Latino audience who eats it up. Like, oh my God, this white guy, he don't know, right? You know, he's learning, he don't know. So he did all this bit, and it wasn't like, to me, the crowd was loving it. I'm like, yeah, man. I mean, you know, that's every Latino comic had that joke 8 years ago, 9 years ago, 10 years ago, right?
That.
We all had that.
We
did that. So I didn't care, right? He got the laughs. I liked the dude. Whatever. The thing that pissed me off was I went on stage, you know, and every now and then I'll reveal that I'm Latino, right? And that same group of actual Latinos that were loving his jokes started questioning my authenticity. Oh, you don't look, you're not Mexican. I'm like, what? Like, so you're allowing somebody who's not even part of the culture to make all these jokes about it. But the minute I go up here, you're going to question my authenticity. I proved it.
Yeah.
You saw my thing. I proved it. Then I continued my set, and I could feel like the audience, there was a disconnect in a weird way, which I was like, maybe there's a strange audience. Then towards the end of my set, I was like, I said something, and somebody was like, we still don't think you're Latino. And I'm like, oh, my God. That was like you've been hanging on to that thought? I've been doing jokes about Jeopardy and shit, right? You know? And so then it offended me again because I'm like, they said that we don't really believe it. I'm like, so? I don't care. I don't care. I don't have to prove it to you. That just means that when I go into an interview, they don't immediately throw away my resume by my looks. You know, like, and I just yeah, I'm fine, man. I could walk around here. Nobody's taking me off planes. You know, like if you're gonna keep judging me, then I'm gonna rip apart how stupid you are for questioning me. Like, I didn't know this was a reverse Trump. Like, I'm being told that I'm not Latino, right? So then I do it, whatever, get off stage, and I'm standing near the bar. I was the last comic up. And people are exiting, and one of the audience members walks up to me, and this is what irked me, right? The first thing he said was, hey, man, so are you really Mexican? And I was like, oh, my fucking God. And I just was like, I was like, I'm Nicolas Valentin. Yes, my grandfather fought with Pancho Villa. I was in his army. And I just walked away, and the dude was like, no, I didn't mean. I'm like, nah. And I walked, because I'm like, that's so why are you going to keep questioning it? Yeah. How many more times do I have to authenticate myself? Why can't you say, hey, good job, that was funny, fucking move on? So then I went into the room to avoid the audience, and then an audience member got back into the room, and he was like, hey, man, it was my wife that said that you weren't Latino. And I'm like, I don't want to meet you or your wife.
Yeah.
You know?
People don't get that, though, that they really do sometimes get on our nerves, and we don't want to talk to them.
I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck what
you
you
ruined
have to
my
say.
show.
Yeah, you're horrible.
You stopped it.
Yep.
And not only did you stop it, you made it weird for everybody, you know? And like, that's what I was going to say. I hate, like, people think it's cute when they stop the show. And I have a tendency to do really fun crowd work. Mm-hmm. And it looks like it's amazing. But what people don't get is that anytime you see me doing crowd work, I'm annoyed as shit. You know, like, I hate it that you stopped my joke. I'm not doing crowd work because that's my routine. I'm not doing crowd work because I give a fuck. I don't think you're funnier than me, right? But the minute you make me do that, I'll make it lighthearted and fun because I realize the entire audience is still there and it has to be fun. But people don't realize, like, no, you annoyed me. You annoyed me so much that I put a stop to my material just to rip apart everything you said. And unfortunately, I made it look fun, so now you think you're part of the show, right? But to be honest, I hate you.
Yeah, I had that happen to me at a golf course. I was asked to perform at like a country club in Florida. Mm-hmm. And it really did get on my nerves because I was performing for a bunch of white people. Yeah. It was going well, but at the same time, it was one of those situations where it's like, I have them. This was like at least 8 years ago. Yeah. And it was like where I have them, but at the same time, they're still kind of like, can we laugh at this? Is this all right? And then it was a fucking Latino that went and torpedoed the fucking show. Yeah. And had to say something negative in the middle of my set. And I don't even remember what he said. Yeah. I just remember it got really tense, and then me being like, it's always going to be your own fucking people. And literally, that's what I said when I was on stage. I was like, it's always going to be your own people that bring you down. Yeah. And it probably stemmed from some shit where he probably likes that he's the only Latino at that fucking country club.
And exactly. That happens.
Here I am, and it's like, I'm just here to do a show. I don't plan to, I don't live in Florida. I don't plan to be a regular here.
Spot.
Yeah. I don't want to be the new Mexican here.
Yeah. You're not going to see me applying for your job.
Yeah.
But it's that, man. It's and that's how I felt. And it's so funny because when I sat, like, not even a few nights before, I was sitting down with Rizzo and like, dude, we need to support the Latino comics and actually get the voice out there. Then when that happens, like, fuck Latinos. Like, that's like, fuck them, man. They're always going to fucking shit on everything we do. So fuck them. Like, it made me not want to represent at all. Yeah. And that's what people don't get. Like, those little moments. Because if every Latino, once again, every other ethnicity, I get it. You have your moments too. But this is me talking about being Latino, right? It's like we've all been checked, and we've all been questioned, and they don't realize that when you question and check, it just makes me not want to. It makes me not even want to be part of it. It makes me want to avoid getting questioned and checked.
Every single show I do, I mention that I'm Latino just so nobody has to ask me, if I'm Filipino or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Even if I haven't talked about that my whole set, at some point I'll be like, just so everybody knows, I am Latino, I'm Mexican American, and I just say that so I don't have to answer all the "Are you Filipino?" questions, which to me is not offensive at all. I don't mind people mistaking me for Filipino, but I do get tired of having to answer that question.
My whole first 6 minutes is me basically answering questions before they ask them.
Yeah, so I'll say it, and then no matter how many times I say it, and I'll be like, I'll even make the joke, like, people will always come up to me and be like, so how much Filipino are you? And it's like, I'm not Filipino at all. I'm Mexican American only, both sides. My mom and dad are both Mexican American. No matter how many times I say this, as soon as I get off stage, at least one person is going to be like, so you're Filipino and Mexican? And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
And like, you're right. Every ethnicity does have their own thing like that. But to me, Latinos are the only ones that actively try to tear each other down all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is. Like, you do a show
It's
for
very
all
crabs in a
Latinos.
bucket, man.
Yeah, it really is. And I know George Lopez talked about it, and it's been going on at least since before even him, but it's just like, that's the way it is. And then we wonder why we don't get more opportunities, and it's like, oh, because we tear each other down. Christella was a good example of that. Like, when Christella got her show, so many people hit her up telling her she wasn't representing them.
She wasn't being authentic.
I'm representing my family.
Yep.
This is me. I'm not saying I'm every Latino.
Dude, I was there in Florida when some lady pulled her to the side, and we didn't know that she was criticizing Christella because it was a fan in the line waiting to get a picture. And she's just like, she told Christella, we couldn't hear it because me and Steve were on the side.
Yeah.
And it was like, you're not representing us well. You're not being classy enough. Dress up. Actually look good as a Latina. Like, what are you doing? And just started. And Christella was putting on a nice face. Thank you so much. Are you gonna take a picture? Or and this lady just decided to judge her. And it's like, yo, she ain't you.
Yeah.
She isn't faking the funk.
Yeah.
All right? She's wearing sneakers and a T-shirt she loves, and that's the way she does it. You want to be always made up in a fucking heels and a dress, that's you.
And anybody that knows her or knew her before the show and knows, like, she's just always been a chill girl. She's always been jeans and tennis shoes. I mean, like, that's one of her things is, like, sneaker collection.
Yeah.
Like, she always has different, like, Adidas.
Man.
And so it's like you're asking her to turn into a different person just because you think that that's what a Latina is.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, all of us aren't exactly the same. But we're supposed to all be the same. And then, like, with her show, that was a good example. Because you saw, like, in comments, because I paid attention because, just her being Latina and being a friend, it was like, yeah, I want to actually support this. So I made sure to watch her show all the time. And I watched every episode of her show. And then sometimes when you'd look online and you'd see things about her show, there was always a bunch of Latinos commenting about how her family was nothing like theirs. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Of course we have different families.
Yeah. We're not all related, guys.
Just like
sometimes I
here in
think
the
Latinos
United States.
forget that. We're not actually all related. I get that's the joke. But I really am not related to you.
But just like here in the United States, that's like somebody in Florida complaining because a show in California doesn't represent their family.
Yeah.
Well, that's
because
we're
they just happen to
parts.
both be named Smith.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the Smiths in Florida don't act like that. Well, it's not written for you. It's like, so wait a minute, let me get this right. You can watch Guardians of the Galaxy, watch aliens fight each other, and completely relate to them on a human level. Like, man, that heartwarming story about fucking aliens loving each other, that got to me. But with your own people, this doesn't represent me. And that's how moronic it is. You can watch The Lion King and get hurt when Mufasa dies, a fucking animated lion, like, oh, that hit me right in the feels. But somebody's telling you their life story about how the shit they go, I don't relate to that.
Well, one Mexican doesn't say ama, and all of a sudden you got a problem. One Mexican says mom instead of ama, and then all of a sudden you're like this is not believable.
You're not authentic.
The whole thing isn't believable.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah. No, I'm glad you brought that up because that's one thing where I think more Latinos need to make a conscious effort to get away from that, the tearing each other down, and just actually support when we see each other doing well. It should be more like, okay, we got one.
Yeah.
We got somebody on ABC.
They're not going to, those chances are so few and far between that you guys don't realize that you don't support That ain't gonna happen for another decade.
And not only did you fuck that person that you supposedly didn't like or wasn't being authentic, now they think Latino in general doesn't sell. And
Yeah, so they
now
don't
you've
have
hurt
any
a lot
of
of
us.
others. Yeah, and so now there's a bunch of us that are.
Yeah.
So.
And then the problem is that since we are Latinos, they think that we can only write shows where that's the central thing. Mm-hmm. And so now they're like, the shows don't work because that's all they write and that's all they know. We can't even write shows like Workaholics.
Yeah.
We can't even write shows like Girls. They won't let us, you know? They're like, well, yeah, I mean, I get it, but don't you have a dad that has a crazy accent? No, I don't.
Neither do I. Yeah, that's one thing people don't get. And then, you know, like you have the industry question.
Don't you have a dad that has trouble with words? No, my dad went to college. Mm-hmm. He didn't have trouble. He was a teacher.
Yeah, well, you have the industry questioning you on that side. Then you have your own people questioning you, which I get the same thing all the time. And it's just like, at a point, it gets like, how about we just forget about that and we just let me be me?
Yeah.
Since that's what we're supposedly pushing.
Since you apparently loved my talent, or did you only like me because you thought that I was marketable as a Latino?
Yeah, and is diversity really diversity if you want us to be one particular type of that thing? That doesn't sound diverse to me.
No.
You know, that sounds like you want another stereotype.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating. Yeah,
It
and
is,
I do
man.
get the same with gay, too. I remember a long time ago I went in for a general meeting at a network, and they asked me about myself. And then I was like, you know, they were like, so tell us a bit about yourself. And I was like, I'm gay, but I'm not, you know, like the stereotypical gonna say the things. And they were like, what do you mean when you say that? And I was like, well, I'm not gonna be redecorating apartments, and I don't do a lot of the sassy gay, you know, like.
And I don't want to give white women advice.
Yeah, and I'm telling them this, and I just see their faces dropping as I'm saying this.
Because
like,
you're taking away all their nerdy white guy all their little white writers.
Yeah.
That don't interact with anybody but white people. You're taking all their little material that they already. You're taking all the tricks out of their bag.
Yeah.
And you're forcing them to actually write.
Yeah, and I never heard any kind of feedback or anything. I was just like, you know, not. I'm sure they just wrote not willing to play the game or not, you know, doesn't get it or something like that.
Here's the thing. He's unbothered. That's what they wrote. Ty's very unbothered.
Which translates to difficult.
So what I wanted, okay, so let me ask you this, because I've had this on my head. I almost said it on the show, because I got at the show I did at the Hollywood Improv, dude, from the bat, I got heckled, right? Mm-hmm. And it was by a table of gay guys. You know, I didn't know at first, but then it was slowly revealed. So I had to make, you know, and it's funny because I didn't make the typical jokes. I was like, yeah, women are great, aren't they? And then I looked at them, I'm like, well, no, they kind of suck, right? They kind of, and I just made it all about, you know, siding with them, you know, and I wanted to do this one thing, and I didn't say it because I was like, because it's the whole thing about what we're talking about is like, it's hard to come out as a gay man. People don't realize how hard it is to come out as a gay man. Because the minute you say, I'm gay, it is that weird, okay, well, here's the box. Mm-hmm. And you're not allowed to ever be out of it. Mm-hmm. And that's it. It's like you almost, you know, it's almost like you revealed something that they never erased from their head.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gay. Oh, okay, well, then we can only talk to you about gay things about, you know, and this and that, and that's it. We can't talk to you about anything else.
No, and and that's what I've had to break a lot of my straight friends of, you know, like a lot of my straight friends at first, that's kind of all they wanted to do. And I was like, look, we don't have to keep having these special conversations.
Yeah.
We can eventually just talk as regular people. Like, what do you talk about with your regular friends, you know?
Yeah, do you bring up all the... Yeah, exactly.
And
so that was one thing that when that happened, I was like, I want to say it, but I was like, you know what? It's not my place.
You know, I would figure it out and work on it if I were you. I think the more of us that are out there, like, telling different sides of the truth or different ways of representing, like, what it is we know other people are going through, I think that, like, it might be... maybe for a millisecond, a little bit of a tougher road, but once you figure it out, people are going to really appreciate it.
I've been
like,
trying to do it, man. You know, like, I was working on this bit for a while about if I had a daughter, and I was like, you know, it's because I have a niece now, and I'm like, it's weird because if I had a daughter, I wouldn't know what to tell her how to handle the world. Like a son, I could tell, like, hey man, you know, you're gonna take a lot to the chin, whatever. You know, don't be creepy, don't lurk around girls. Just be a good dude. Things will work out well. Hey daughter, you're gonna be slut shamed. You're gonna get paid less, but nobody's gonna punch you in the face. That's what they swear. They swear they're not going to punch you in the face. Yeah, they're not going to give you as much opportunity as men, and they're kind of always going to talk beyond you. But they swear they're not going to punch you in the face. Unless you punch them, then they probably punch you in the face. And in fact, they just might punch you in the face. And when the first time I said it, the audience, like, and I'm like, but that's what you really need to tell little girls.
Yeah.
Like, get ready for the fucking fight. And it's weird. I think it was weird for them coming from a man of like, yo, I wanted to be like, you need to train your daughters about the reality of what life is. Because you know what? It is a little bit easier being a man.
Yeah, well, that's something I've gotten into a lot of trouble over, and there's a bit that I'm working on that's, you know, on a similar vein where it just comes to like the, I think it's the worst thing you can do to tell your daughters that a man will never hit a woman or make them think that a man will never hit a woman. And I think that the way that they should do it, and I know that people are going to come down because I don't have kids on this, but I think
that's also the other thing. You don't have kids. You can't say, you know, and I'm like, yeah, but you, as a parent, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I think that you should raise your boys to know that they should not hit women, and at the same time raise your girls to know that there's a possibility that a man will hit them.
Yep.
You know,
and
that way...
And that it's a little bit harder.
That way, hopefully, between the two, you know, between
it balances
changing the both sides of the thinking on both sides, because sometimes you do get, and I talked about this a little bit last week, sometimes you do get women that think it's okay to just slap a man in the face because they think a man will never hit them back.
Yeah.
And then the man fucking rocks them, which I'm not saying is right.
You see videos of it all the time where girls are just wailing on dudes, and dudes take one fucking punch.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's comments, you should never, like, she was wailing on him.
Yeah, but that's the thing, and it's you're setting your daughter up for failure. Yeah. You know, you're setting her up to really get hurt in some cases. Because some people, it doesn't even take wailing, it can be the first hit.
Yeah, you're setting her up to be a princess in a world where she's not royalty.
Yeah,
that's the problem. Yeah. Is that you can't set up people that are not royalty to be treated like royalty. Yeah. You know, because most of us have to deal with the realities of life. And it's funny because, you know, remember when I got in trouble with commenting on your thing and I lost a friend, right? And it was that whole thing of like, but if you have daughters, they should hear what Ty is saying because Ty is saying it out loud. The rest of the population is saying it in their heads. Or there's a lot of people saying in their heads, and they need to know when to be able to catch it and be like, oh, you think this.
Yeah, and that was me really, like, from the base of me, that was me trying to give what I thought was good, solid advice. Yeah. That wasn't at all me trying to say anybody deserved anything or anybody, like, and I didn't even go into that. It was just really, like, just some advice. Like, if you don't want to end up in shitty situations, this is where you go.
Let people know, let your children know what potentially could happen. And it's funny because it kind of happens with I was talking to somebody about it happens with ethnic kids, because ethnic kids nowadays, you know, in schools it is a little bit more accepted to be, you know, different. You know, you can be a Mexican kid with a white friend and a black friend and nobody ever brings it up. But you kind of have to remind that your Mexican son or daughter that, yeah, no, I get that your friends consider you equal, but the real world might not. So don't work as little as your white friend. Work as hard as you need to. Yeah. Because unfortunately, he has a little bit up on you, right? Just because of the skin and just of so you're gonna have to push back that. Don't be as stupid as them. And I know I'm not saying white kids are stupid. I'm just saying there's a disadvantage as a minority, and you can't believe you're equal. You have to say, no, I got to work just a little bit harder.
Yeah, talk like a white person, work like a Mexican.
Yeah, man. It's true.
You know, yeah.
You know, and it's a tough thing to teach them, but you almost have to like, yo, sit down. Let me teach you this for this quick second. Yeah. You know, because the minute that you step into this workplace, they're going to act all chummy with you.
And sometimes people forget that their discrimination isn't the only discrimination that happens. Last night, I saw that happen when I was at a mic. There's a friend of mine. He's a comic. He's black. And but he's not from the United States originally. Like, he was raised Jamaica and Trinidad.
Yeah.
And then came here when he was 15. And so he doesn't always get everything, even though he's been here a long time, or doesn't understand how certain things come off. And he was talking about when he had done a comedy contest in San Jose. And, we were at the Lexington, so that's, like, a lot of times a fair amount of Latinos in there because it's downtown and, there's a fair amount of population there. And so there's a fair amount of Latinos there. And he's like, yeah, and then they just hand me all this money in front of this group of Mexicans, and then they turned on him. And so afterwards, he was trying to talk to me about it, and I was like, okay, do it this way. Think about it if the shoe was on the other foot. And there was a Mexican comic on stage, and they were like, yeah, and then they handed me all this money in front of these black people. It's like,
yeah,
just because you said Mexican doesn't mean that it's,
that it's buffered.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. That's actually what I got upset about that night, that group didn't want to go, that kept questioning me, is the other thing that pisses me off is that with as little opportunity as we're given in Hollywood, and we're given little opportunity, all right? Let's not fucking play it. I know somebody's going to be like, well, what about that? We're given little opportunity, right? People love Mexican punchlines.
Oh, yeah.
They love using our culture in their shows. They love using, the quick Mexican quirky guy for their pilots. But they will not give us the chance to do it ourselves. Yeah,
I'm not even a fan of that, like, how a lot of people have the Mexican sidekick now, like Chewy, or like, where it's this.
They love using the culture, but they don't give the people in the culture any credit. They don't give us a chance.
Yeah.
And that's what pisses me off. It's like, okay, so you can use Mexican as a punchline, and people will laugh, because we've been trained to laugh at and it was a Mexican guy. Replace it with black. Replace it with white, replace it with Asian. If the joke doesn't work with the rest of the races, you're using the easy punchline of Mexican to get out of it.
And that's because it's kind of been our role up until recently, and it does bother people.
Just to be it's okay, guys, it's okay. I fight with you. It's okay. Because that's the problem, is that all these dudes, especially the elite, they only come in contact with people that work with them. And people that work with them are always smiling and say, it's okay, I take care of it.
Yeah, and they usually don't work with them, they work for them.
Work for them, that's what I mean. They only work for them.
Like, the gardener, the maid.
Hey, man, it's okay. I get it. It's okay, I take the rat out.
And they have to say that.
Yep, they have to. It's a job.
You're writing their check.
Yep.
So they have to put up with any inappropriate joke you want to do. So it's easy for them to do that with us.
Yeah.
Nick.
Ty.
This has been a bothered and then unbothered episode of Unbothered by Thai Rivera.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad we did the Cinco. I didn't even think about it until you mentioned like something about Johnny and then like the other Latinos, and then I was like,
yeah, man.
Are you gonna talk shit about beaners? So this is Cinco de Mayo edition.
No.
And then it turned into like
man.
a full.
My whole thing is like, I see the hurdles, and I wish there was a way to restart the 90s. Comedy-wise with Latinos where they all got along so that we could have benefited off of it now. But, the older generation of Latinos, and yes, I'm calling all the older generation of Latinos out because all you guys are bitter fucks.
Yeah.
And you are the ones that put us behind now.
In a lot of cases,
you couldn't
we just
get
have
along.
to write them off.
Yeah, you couldn't get along in the 90s, and you took it into the 2000s, and now we have to erase all the bitterness, all the fucking divaness that you had when you got on shows or you had pilots, and all the shit that you went around touring, shitting on people and acting like divas, and all those executives saying, well, this must be all Latinos. You ruined it. And now we have to clean up your fucking mess. And they still don't get along.
To this day, they
don't even get along with us.
Yeah, they still hold their shit. Yeah, and that's why I stay away from, and I'm 100% clear about that all the time. I do, for the most part, stay away from the older Latino comics altogether because they always try to drag you in some shit. And it's like, look, I don't want to be a part of that. And it's not a matter. And then they don't realize, like you're disrespecting.
Yeah,
and it's like, I'm not.
I'm not disrespecting. You're the reason that it's harder for us now. Because if you would have just, it's so funny. Because if you back in the 90s would have been like, it's okay, I do it, then we would have been fine now.
Yeah, if you had that same attitude you have towards white people with other Latinos, then we'd all be getting along.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be this.
We could all have created something.
Yeah.
But no. You guys only show love and respect to the upper class, the elite, and with your own people, you show so much disrespect. And I'm not gonna work with him.
Yeah, I have one older Latino comic that came after me, started talking shit about me before I'd even met him. I didn't know I had never met him ever.
Yeah.
And it was to me, it was I don't know why he would say that and so when I met him in real life, my thinking was, I've never met this guy. For all I know, these other people are just trying to start shit, and you know, he didn't say anything about me. So until he's shitty with me, I'm gonna be cool with him.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
how I treat
I came in being cool with him. Right away, he was shitty with me, and it was just
all right.
yeah, I guess you have been saying that. And then there's another one that's big that talk shit about me to my face, when I first started, and then went around really disparaging my name because I treated him the same way in that moment. He just approached me at the wrong time. I was drunk, and he came up talking shit. I talked shit back. And then all of a sudden he acted. Yeah, and it really did hurt his ego. And it was because to tell you the truth, I had never heard about him before. Yeah. And so he was I heard you were name dropping me. And I was like, no, I never name dropped you. And then he was like, yeah, I heard you were name dropping.
Yeah, your name is worth anything.
Well, that's what I told him. I was like,
okay. You know what? Let me name drop you.
Yeah, exactly what I told him in front of everybody was you know what? I didn't even know you had a name to drop.
And he's like, oh,
yeah.
Why you say that to me? Right?
But that was me being honest, because I really did. I had never heard of him before.
Yeah.
You know,
So the comic that didn't give me an intro and kind of sneered while I was on stage, Latino.
Okay. Well, now I got to know who this is. So, you know what, you guys? Thank you for listening to Unbothered. Where can everybody find you, Nick? I know Nick Comic is.
Yeah, and Nick Comic is everything. My website, Nick Guerra. Check out my podcast, Time with Nick and Johnny. The Thai one's going to be up probably when this one comes out. When does this come out? This week?
This comes out.
So, yeah, the
tomorrow.
Thai one's going to be out. I'll put that. I'll rush Johnny yo, Ty's putting it out, so come on, hurry, man.
Crack the whip.
Crack
the whip.
And just share our videos, man. Share our videos.
Yeah, share everything, you guys. And
go like them. Even if you don't like them, go like them. Give us 5-star reviews. Because we have to break all the fucking chains that all the bitter comics put in front of us.
Yeah.
We got to break down the wall that was built in the 90s because of bitter comics.
Yeah, we don't need Trump to build a wall. We built the wall ourselves.
We built the wall ourselves,
the
man.
Before us built the fucking wall, so.
And we need to knock down that actual wall.
Yeah, and I know I have other Latinos that listen. So other Latinos, you especially, need to do your part.
Yeah, man.
Help us out. Help us out. It'll help your kids out. It'll help future generations out. And it really is about more than just us. So
yeah.
Everybody, you can find me at ThaiRivera.com, a.k.a. AmericasFavoriteFag.com. This has been Unbothered by Thai Rivera Special Cinco de Mayo edition. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.